In today's video, we're doing delicious and nutritious recipes while fasting. My name is Alexis Nicole, aka Uniquely Lex, here on YouTube and on Instagram, so let's get into it. Starting out with our chia seed oatmeal, I use old-fashioned oats typically. I'll take 1 cup of oats, pretty much 1 cup of water for each cup of oats, and I will put that in the pan that I have on medium-high heat. I will add the water and the oats together, swirl them around a little bit, and then I'll let those oats kind of sit for a little. I'll then add the chia seeds. I typically add just whatever I feel like, so I don't measure it or anything like that. It is really to your own preference. While the oatmeal and chia seeds are cooking, it's time to plate already. So I'll get my bowl out and then I'll get my fruit. Make sure you thoroughly wash your fruit. I just want to show you a quick rinse. After I washed my fruit, I set that off to the side and go back to my oatmeal that has been cooking for a little bit. As your oats cook and your chia seeds cook, it'll begin to create a little bit of a paste. I'll then go into cutting my fruits. So in today's oatmeal, I used strawberries and blueberries. I love that mixture together. Sometimes I will add bananas as well. Oh, I had a banana, I forgot. So I did use about 3/4 of a banana. So as you can see with my oats, they're not super mushy or anything like that. So I cook them to a certain consistency that I like. So feel free to do whatever you'd like as well. But I will also add some almond cashew milk in there that I got from Trader Joe's just to make it a little bit more creamy. Add my fruit to the bowl, and then to add and things to make it full, I added some peanut butter. So now to get into my water, I will drink this every single day during my fast. So I do have a certain bottle that I use to help me drink my water throughout the day. And I will typically just add some lemon juice to my water to make it a little bit more flavorful for me, and drink that throughout the day. So getting into our quick soup recipe, I got this garden vegetable soup from Trader Joe's. I showed that in my haul in my last video. It is so delicious, y'all. You just simply throw it in the pot, heat it up on medium-high heat, let that start to boil up, and then I like to crumble some Simple Mills almond crackers on top. These crackers are so good, y'all. You have to try them. They're really, really good, and you get to eat quite a few for one serving, so that is always good. Now getting into our harvest bowl, I'm using fresh vegetables for these. So green beans, mushrooms, tomato, 2 peppers. I used yellow and orange, a sweet potato, Yukon potatoes, onions as well. You're gonna chop all of those up, and then you're going to pour them into a big bowl. So literally just toss all of your vegetables into that bowl, because we're going to be putting our seasonings into the bowl and mixing together here in a second. I love harvest bowls just because they're so filling as well, and they're really pretty, the different colors of the vegetables. So you should definitely try this out. I was really kind of just winging this recipe, but it turned out to be really good, y'all. So after you've gotten everything together in the bowl, we're gonna put our seasonings, starting out with some kosher salt. You can really use whatever salt that you like. I used kosher. Then some Goya, the perfect seasoning. We use the green bottle. Then I use some organic black pepper that I got from Trader Joe's. Now, I love pepper, so I put quite a bit, but again, this is all to your preference. Next, we're gonna use some ground cumin, just a little bit. And then Lawry's seasoned salt. I know we already used kosher salt. That's why I only put a little bit of that seasoning salt in there for a little extra flavor. We're then going to go in with some Saison Goya, the orange box. And I am using 1 whole packet. After that, we're going to go in with some garlic powder. I love garlic powder, y'all. Some thyme, and this is dried thyme. Once we have all of our seasonings in there, we're going to mix it together with a spatula. You could really use whatever you want, but just make sure that you are using something to help move all of those vegetables and seasoning together. We're then going to add some extra virgin olive oil, just kind of, pour it all over. Maybe I'd say 2 tablespoons that I used. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of garlic. If garlic powder wasn't enough, we're gonna add some minced garlic in there too, just heighten the flavors. So it should look something like this once all of the seasonings are mixed together. It's just a beautiful pot of colors and some real good seasoned vegetables. So once we're all done mixing that together, we're going to place all the vegetables, spread them out on a baking sheet. So I did get a baking sheet already prepared with some parchment paper on top. And you're just gonna make sure that the vegetables are spread out evenly on the baking pan. And we are baking these vegetables on 430 degrees for 45 minutes. And we're going to toss these vegetables halfway through when there was about 23 minutes left. So as those vegetables are cooking, we're going to prepare our rice for our harvest bowl. So I did use some jasmine rice, brown jasmine rice from Trader Joe's, and some vegan butter spread. You don't have to use any vegan products or anything like that, but I do want some butter, so I got vegan butter. We're gonna use 2 cups of water for every 1 cup of rice. So I did make 2 cups of rice, so I'm using a total of 4 cups of water while my pot is on medium to high heat. You're gonna want that water to boil, and as soon as it starts boiling, you're going to want to cover your pot and let your rice cook for about 10 minutes until you get a consistency like this, where the rice has pretty much soaked up all of the water and the buttery goodness that is in there. I did not add any salt to my rice, but please feel free to add salt if you would like to as well. So my vegetables are done now, and they should look something like this. So to assemble my harvest bowl, I am putting the rice down first in a big flat bowl, topping that with some of my greens that I purchased from the store. And on top of the greens, I'm gonna put those roasted vegetables that we have. You can put however much you want, again, depending on how hungry you are. But this meal is very, very filling. And to add on top of that, I am going to add some healthy fats, some avocado. We love some good avocado. I happen to have one that was like starting to go bad, so I was like, let me use this quickly. And that's the harvest bowl, y'all. It was so delicious, so seasoned, beautiful. Now moving into one of my favorite meals, y'all, during this fast and just in general, oat pancakes. Oh, they're so good. You're gonna get a cup of oats, a half cup of blueberries, a couple strawberries, a banana, 3/4 cup of milk, and I did use plant-based milk, y'all. So I used almond, but you can use whatever plant-based milk that you would like. And then some Just Date syrup if you want a little bit more sugar. I ended up not using it, but you can use that again to add in replacement of normal maple syrup. So with your oats, you're gonna add those to a blender to chop it down to oat flour, essentially. You can probably do this with just oat flour from the store, but I like to use oats. So I chop my oats down until I get a consistency that looks somewhat like this, so powdery, but a little chunky. I then add my milk slowly just because I wanted a certain consistency. So although I poured 3/4 of milk, I only used about half cup of that milk just because I was going for thicker pancakes. Then you're gonna take a banana, one that's, ripe, but not too ripe. It really kind of depends on your preference. I used a banana that was, good enough where it was going to still add some thickness and some sweetness to the pancakes. If you use a more riper pancake, you might have mushier batter, but also a sweeter batter. So it really kind of just depends on your preference. Once you have mixed that banana in super well, check the consistency. How well do you like it? Once you like everything, then you're ready to get that onto the pan. So make sure you have your pan going, ready to apply the pancake batter. So we're going to get our berry compote together in a small saucing pan. You're gonna pour your blueberries and then add just a little bit of water. It'll look something like this, and you'll have that on medium-high heat, and allow the blueberries, again, to just kind of melt within that water. Once your pan is prepared, you will start scooping that pancake mix onto your pan. I'm just using a normal spoon, so I'm applying kind of about 2 scoops of the batter per pancake. Y'all, what's crazy is this is the first time that I ever tried this recipe during my fast, and I was like, what the heck? Because I love oatmeal, but oat pancakes, y'all, are so delicious. I mean, it's a different consistency essentially because it is oatmeal, but it's so good. So if you're a fan of oatmeal, you should love this recipe. Great spices to add to this to add some additional flavor would be cinnamon, some nutmeg. So you'll let your berries kind of continue to cook. I just want to show you what it looks like as those blueberries are cooking in the water. Our pancakes are done, so now we are ready to plate. They're beautiful, golden brown. When that compote is ready to your liking, then you're ready to plate. So on top of my pancakes, I'm just gonna add some more vegan butter. And then for decoration and for yummy goodness, fruit is delicious, y'all. So I added some chopped strawberries, and then I poured some of those berries from the berry compote on top. And then the juice that was remaining acts as a syrup. And so I poured some of that on top of the pancakes as well. Slice that baby open. Delicious, y'all. I love this recipe so much. I think that you're gonna love it. Last but not least, y'all, we're making my husband's kale greens. Oh, they're so good, y'all. He really put me onto this. 1 bag of chopped kale, and then a few tomatoes. I used about 3, a whole onion, some garlic cloves, that Saison. Again, I have a packet that I'm using, some normal salt, whatever you want to use. I used light salt from Morton, and I also used seasoning salt, Lowry's, some garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne pepper, and then our Goya seasoning again, the green bottle. So in a big pan on low, you're going to add some oil to cover the pan. I used the rest of my sun-dried tomato that I had left. Wanted to make sure I used the rest of that. So I did use some of that. And then to finish up, I used some just normal extra virgin olive oil. And once you've done that, it should look something like this, where your oil has covered the bottom of your pan. You're going to chop up all of those vegetables you had and add in your onions first. Allow your onions to saute in the oil. Make sure you are moving them around so they don't burn. You're also going to add in your garlic as well. Mix those together. Then you're going to want to add in your chopped tomatoes, and then stir everything together. It's gonna bring this beautiful aroma. It's gonna smell so good. It's just gonna fill up the room. Ugh, I love the smell of sauteed onions and garlic, so good. So then we're gonna add some seasoning salt from Lowry's, a good helping. I'm sorry I can't really give you all measurements. I really just go by eye. So whatever you feel like your preference is, go with that. I'm then adding some of the onion powder. Next, I'm going in with more garlic powder. And then with our Goya, the perfect seasoning, green bottle, for some extra seasoning there. And then a little bit of cayenne pepper. It really depends on your spice level. My husband is Haitian and he loves spicy food, so he's usually like, go all in. And then we're going to finish up with our Saison Goya packet. And again, I'm using 1 whole packet for this many chopped kale greens. If you're making more, of course, double the recipe accordingly. Stir that together, and then after a while, you're going to then add in your chopped kale. This is washed, so make sure you wash your vegetables, y'all, before you put them in there. So we're just gonna add in all the chopped kale, and as this cooks, it's going to go down, but I just like to use a big pot in general, just because I want to, but I did not necessarily need this big of a pot for the amount of greens that I was cooking. I also added some spring greens that I had left over and needed to use, so I threw those in the pot as well. Once your greens are covered in the seasoning and the oil, you're gonna cover your pot with the lid and let it cook for about an hour. Make sure you check on it though throughout the time so your greens don't burn. Once your greens kind of look good, they're cooked down, stir your greens around and just make sure it's the consistency and taste that you want. Make sure if it is not that you continue to add more seasoning and allow it to cook a little bit longer. And that completes all of my quick, delicious, but nutritious recipes during my fast. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you try out any of these recipes, let me know in the comments below. Or if there's any recipes that you tend to do during your fast, let me know. I would love to make these for me and the hubby and our family as well. You all stay safe, prayed up, and healthy, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.